Hello everybody, it is Al Knight, and it is Brony time, and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. I am so sorry the last episode ended so abruptly. The only reason I'm not doing a part 1.5 is because technically we were already at length for the episode anyway. So I just said, we were making we made it as far as we were going to make it, and I had to end it really soon anyway, but I wanted to do a proper outro, and that didn't happen. So, yep, sorry about that, but with that all set out of the way, let's get right back into it. So 1, Turnabout Trump. Yeah, one thing I noticed is this game runs fine once you get it launched, but by God, does it take forever to start up. You see, oh God, what the frick was that? That was a Russian. See what, Mrs. Really? Orly, oh really? Is that what it is? I just caught on to that. Miss O'Reilly, what do we see? In the left hand, there was cheat. A cheat? You don't mean a trick? Wait, or do you mean a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. Great. Just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. The last hand, both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took ball in his hand. Poor Mr. Smith. Miss O'Reilly, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover-up here. Well, folks, it's time to throw back the covers. Full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make, in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin, what's a full house? Lawyers these days, you don't know your poker? No, I don't really think I need to know my poker for the majority of my job. I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career. What is this, some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice. Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair, and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. We're learning about poker in this game, folks. Who says games can't teach you anything? That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget there's an easy way to make a full house and go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness. If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional con man losing when they cheat? Alright, last hand, both men had full house. This is 4 of each card in deck from ace to king. That's pretty obvious. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. Tell us more about that. How was it clear? Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. And Mr. Wright's 2. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand? Shut up. Your Honor, perhaps this can be added to the testimony without Mr. Payne's jokes. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. It was a really shitty joke, Mr. Payne. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2. This is 5 aces in all. Alright. Let's... Shit! I don't know. A 5th ace? Duh! It should not exist, no? I still remember both hands very well. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I pressed the wrong damn button. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong damn button. E... Oh, it's because they changed it to present instead of just court record. That's what keeps screwing me up. Alright, let's look at this. He has 3 kings. What? She said 5 aces. But there's no 5th ace. There's 4. Because there's 2 here and 2 there. And I'm pretty sure that she said 5 aces. Yep, I got you, bitch. Objection! It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice, perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? Okay, so... the victim's hand, I would say, is our problem. Miss O'Reilly, in your testimony, you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces. But as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Eek! Once again, I found the right thing for the wrong reason. Like, the thing the game's pointing out. My thing was like, hey, there aren't 5 aces. This is a contradiction. But the actual contradiction is the fact that the victim's hand doesn't have 5 aces. And I forgot she said that, so I just stumbled into being right again. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating all right, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. Two aces, and each player's... Oh, God, sorry. I keep forgetting I changed his voice. Sorry, the early game of Apollo Justice is going to be like this. I'm going to be screwing up voices. I'm sorry. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please! It is true, I have seen it! The 5th ace! There was cheating, I swear to you! That's odd. She must be lying, and she's the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts. Mr. Gavin? Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honor, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps you might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne. Ah, yes. The player's hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defense would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? These cards don't prove cheating was going on. Nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? I think, yeah, we should really look at the victim's hands. I think that's the most... It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defense requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well, Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. You received the cards. Well, time's wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. Tutorial time. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the up, left, down, and right arrow keys to turn it every which way, and B and M to zoom in and out. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. And this was actually introduced in Rise from the Ashes. And now it's being more recognized here. Okay, so we move it with the arrow keys. So, B we can zoom in, and we can zoom out. Sorry, just getting used to the controls here. This... What is this? Why do the color of the cards not match up? What? Your Honor, look at this! One of the victim's cards. The back is a different color. Eh? Eh! That's impossible! But I put the card in the right hand. Ah! What was that, Miss O'Reilly? No, yet, I merely said, I have Your Honor. Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say? The dealer. Wait, so you mean... This witness, Miss O'Reilly. She's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Yeah! Order! Order! Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. I mean of her mistake. Your Honor? Please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible, but I put that card in the knight's hand. Ergo, Miss Olga O'Reilly conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. Oh! Not only did she cheat, she cheated poorly. Therefore, it's not hard to imagine an altercation between her and the victim. What? Wait, you don't mean the defense isn't accusing the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, are you? Time for justice. There were 3 people in the room at the time of the incident. If Mr. Wright isn't guilty, that means I am. The defense accuses the witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, of murder. Mr. Payne, where's your witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly? It appears she has lost, consciousness, Your Honor. Mr. Justice? Your Honor? Seems you presented a new possibility to the court. One suggesting a connection between the witness and the victim, Mr. Smith. And that means this court cannot pronounce a verdict for the defendant at this time. What? I did it. I held out. See no point in prolonging the trial this day. The prosecution will need to make further inquiries. Whoa! Defeating... Oh! Mr. Wright? Can't end the trial here, Your Honor. Not yet. What nonsense is the defendant spewing now? Think. One of the cards had a different colored bag. Don't you wonder what it means? What are you doing, Mr. Wright? Raising objections right when you're about to get off the hook. Ridiculous! Mr. Payne, you of all people should know. Mr. Wright has a talent for the ridiculous. Perhaps we should get to the bottom of things. Let's clear up the facts about the game that fateful night. As we said before, we alternated between two decks of cards that night. That was said before! The two decks of the club have different colored backs, blue and red. One color per deck. Why use different colored backs? If we use the same color, the two decks might get mixed. You used two different colors and they still got mixed up? We used the red deck for the last game. I see, but that's odd. For some reason, I have this impression that you were using the blue cards. Yeah, me too. Sure someone said something about blue cards. Whatever. In the end, one card of the wrong color got into the mix, which means there was cheating. Yes, a card slipped into the deck would seem to indicate cheating. Yet this card raises two serious questions. Apollo? Yes? Let's consider the first question, shall we? Think, in the last game, when was the card swapped? When? There are three broad possibilities here. Could have been swapped before the murder, during the murder, or after the murder. Well, yeah, thanks for the news bulletin, Mr. Wright. Of course it was swapped. Oh? It might be as simple as you think, Mr. Payne, or it might not be. I'd like to hear what Apollo thinks first. When do you think the cards were swapped? When was the card swapped into the deck? I don't think it could have been during the murder. I mean, it could have been, but I doubt it. It definitely wasn't after the murder, because I don't think Olga was still in the room when it happened, and I mean, Phoenix could have switched it, but why would he do that? So during the murder, I don't see what the murderer was hoping to accomplish to that, because that gets right off the hook. It would be much easier just to frame right. So it's gotta be before the murder. Well, it must have happened before the murder. You mean during the game? I wonder. Huh? Why? Oh, I got it wrong. Oh, I'm stupid as hell. Oh, God. Think when you're playing poker, which side of the cards face your opponent? Ah, the back. Not something the poker head of courtroom number 3 would be likely to miss. Sorry, let me think about this some more. When was the card swap? That was my fault. That was my fault. I wasn't thinking straight. Perhaps it happened after the murder? But what's that? Ridiculous! What's the point of cheating after the hands have been shown? That's silly! Yes, but tell me, how do you swap cards during the game? I'll take silly over impossible. Take it from me, son. There's a lot of silly in this world, but very little impossible. Oh. Even the backs of the cards are a different color? If you pulled that during the game, you'd be caught in no time. I totally did not get this wrong, and I'm not looking like I got it right. Quite true. That would mean that the blue card in question was swapped after the hands were shown. After the murder. Okay, this is going past silly and straight on to crazy. I ask again, what's the point of cheating after the game's over? Who would do that? Who indeed? That's one of the mysteries before us. There's another. Yes, a simple yet decisive question must be asked. Who swapped the red card for a blue card? Who? The game and murder is done. The victim is dead. Only two remain in the room, alive that is. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and our witness, Olga O'Reilly. Okay, so who was it that swapped the red card with the blue card? It wouldn't make sense for Phoenix. No, Phoenix doesn't make any sense. Like, we don't even have to think about it. Olga... Why would she want it to make it look like... No, she put the card there, so she... Yeah, it's gotta be someone else. The one who swapped the cards wasn't Mr. Wright, of course. And, well, it doesn't seem like it could have been Olga O'Reilly either. Well, what are you suggesting? That's hardly a logical conclusion, I'll admit. As the defense, I think it only makes sense for you to name Miss O'Reilly at this point. Yes, I know, but she was the one who dealt the cards, right? I just can't believe she would make the mistake of swapping the wrong color card. If the card was swapped during the game, it'd be obvious. Something you'd like to share with the court, Mr. Wright? Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I was just thinking how much fun all of this is. Fun? How much confusing. I have no idea what the defense is claiming, Your Honor. If the one who swapped the card wasn't the defendant, and it wasn't Mrs. O'Reilly... Mrs. O'Reilly... Sorry. Then who was it? Yeah, well, that is the question. God dang it. I'm getting the hiccups. Isn't it? Precisely. Huh? I believe we're about to see this case take a new direction. A new direction? We'll find that, indeed, after the murder, someone swapped one of the cards in the victim's hand. That someone made two critical mistakes. I'm sure you're going to tell us the first was swapping the wrong colored card. Because the one who did the swap didn't know two colors of cards were being used. The other mistake was the number on the card. Right. The person replaced the fifth ace with a king. Okay, so my brain was going completely the wrong direction with that. I'm sure whoever swapped it wasn't expecting there to be a fifth ace after all. All they knew was that the game had been won with a full house. So they picked up a king from the table and swapped it in. But there's one problem. According to our case record, this person doesn't exist. True, not until now, but you have to admit the possibility of a fourth person. Though it's more than a possibility. There was someone else there that night at the scene of the crime. What? I believe the judge spoke truthfully earlier. You do make trials ridiculous, Mr. Wright. This trial has proceeded on one central assumption. Namely, that at the time of the incident, there were only 3 people in that room. I believe this new evidence, shall we say, overturns that assumption. The problem is that you chose to conceal this information from the court. I suppose that is a problem, yes. Court is adjourned for a brief recess. Mr. Gavin, I'll see you in my chambers during this recess. Okay, so he withheld the information to the court. And his reaction there seemed, well, I guess that's a problem. So something's going on with Phoenix here, and there's a reason he didn't give the evidence. I wonder. Certainly, Your Honor. What is this motherfucker doing, this dumbass? Very well, the trial will resume in 20 minutes. That was quite unexpected, Mr. Wright. He's evil. He's evil. He's doing the glasses pushing thing. It's 2 fingers. It's not the 1 finger, it's the 2 fingers. Anime, people with glasses, evil. To suddenly claim there was another person at the scene of the crime like that, I must ask, is it the truth? Well now, I think you would know the answer to that. Ah, being mysterious, are we? Sadly, I have no time for mysteries. I'd only ask that you leave the defending to your defense in the future. Otherwise, I cannot guarantee the outcome. I see you haven't mellowed out one bit, Kristoff. Justice. Yes, sir? The judge has summoned me to his chambers, so carry on without me. You did well, Apollo. Can I ask you something? Sure. That locket you wear, is that really yours, Mr. Wright? Ah, you're wondering about the victim's disappearing locket. Here, you can take a look at it. That's a picture of my daughter in there. Ah, yes, I have seen your picture before. I'm just surprised to hear you had a daughter. Most people are. Perhaps you'll meet her one of these days. One more question. The one who cheated that night, was it you? What do you think? Huh? You know what happened 7 years ago? What I did? What did you do, Phoenix? It's not unreasonable for you to think I might cheat. I never, honest, but it is odd that he managed to go undefeated for 7 whole years. Want to know something? There's only one game where you can be dealt bad cards all night and still win. Poker. Eh? You see, poker is all about reading your opponent. And that way, it's a lot like a court case. Poker is like trial law. Figure out what your opponent is thinking, and you win. Well, yeah, but that's harder than it sounds. I think not. Try as they might to conceal it, everyone reveals their true thoughts in the end. Their body language can become a valuable source of information. You're kidding. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Ah, a tick. That is true. People have tics. No, come on. Who noticed that? I have ADHD, so I have tons of tics. I have tons of, like, visual tics. Like, I scratch my head a lot. I kind of squirm a little bit. I rub my arms. Like, stuff like that I just do, and it's like, it's just a thing that I do. Especially when I'm, like, in an adrenalized state, like, if I'm stressed, if I'm excited, like, stuff like that, those tics start to come out, so. Just a little fun fact about Owl Night. Words, habits, twitches. It's all information for the reading. I'm a real Sherlock Holmes, if I do say myself. Like in that other attorney game. That's the secret to winning, Apollo. Someone taught me, and I passed the secret on to you. But I'm not worthy. I mean, there's no way I'll pick up on these signals. No, you can do it. Huh? You just don't know it yet. What's he talking about? But you will. Soon. I almost forgot. I would say there wouldn't be some, like, magic bullcrap going on in Ace Attorney, but we had spirit channeling in the original trilogy, so Apollo could probably have some magical gift, but the question is, what is it? I am curious. Almost forgot. One more thing about this case. You should know, I haven't told the truth to anyone yet. What? I knew it! I have my reasons, of course. All shall be revealed. And Apollo, I need you to be there, defending me. I need your power. My, power? I had no idea my cords of steel were that special. Not your cord of steel, you idiot. It's time. The real trial begins now. Do your best. To be continued. Sorry, whenever I see to be continued, I just think of that Family Guy bit. Continue on to the next chapter. Oh, that's cool. So you can now, like, return to the game menu if you're done. But nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep going. We are at... where are we at? We still got time. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again. That's the thing. You see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand. Very well. The witness will take the stand. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like O'Reilly. Got it. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. I'm not gonna lie, Olga, she good looking. Witness, you will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? We had a plan, see? No, I'm not going to do that for her. Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Borscht Boat Club several days prior to the night of the game. As a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim. Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It's about destroying a legend. The unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand. And then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. So they were trying to frame him. You swap the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little car. That was the plan. Oh really, oh really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet what happened to that planted car? Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to be to slip from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers O'Reilly. O'Reilly? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I want to be a bad girl. I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Bad! Okay, so that's really what we're doing here. Okay. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court. Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. That night, I planted the card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me who hit Smith, it was that no-good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect! If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking! Well, the testimony, for what it's worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Honestly, I do like some of the writing in this game. I don't know, something about it feels, like, sharper and more, like, fluent. I don't know, it just... I don't know, I think the writing really improved in this game. Except the Iron Cord Lungs thing. Like, it fails sometimes in its humor department. Okay, tell us about that. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing? Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well... Oh, what's this? What was that just now? I sensed something? Something wrong, Mr. Justice. No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Oh yeah, baby. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You... Me? Quickfingers O'Reilly hiding something? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain... Oh, this is Phoenix. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Whoa! What the hell is this? Whoa, what's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit, like I couldn't before.
Gotcha!
Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense, who claim the witnesses remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what will remind her most of the moment of the crime? So really, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an indiscernible impression on your neck is the bottle itself. Because if we think about it, she's touching the back of her neck, which is the back of her head. So technically, it could be that maybe she was struck. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's who Phoenix was knocking out. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. What reminds us more of that moment than this bottle of the murder weapon? But something doesn't fit. If you were the only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witnesses' habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I am knowing nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Bah, fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. No, just freak that. He called, we know he called. He called, like, he couldn't have called from in that room. Objection! Miss O'Reilly, we have record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. Huh? And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. Ah! So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Ah! I can't do a girl scream, I'm sorry. The man who picked up a bottle and swung it that night wasn't the defendant. Dirty cheat! Check his pockets. Now! It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Oh. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right. And he hit me. You, some master of cheating you turned out to be. Damn, dude, you fucking belted a girl? What the fuck, dude? When I came to. Sure, blame the woman. Whatever. The victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this! It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end. And frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that, as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Mr. O'Reilly a big fat liar. What? 3 were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. The denouncement of that argument was murder. What? I am no killer! It's a trap! Someone's trying to frame me! What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled, we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright! Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Oh... I think I know what's going on here. Right, like Mr. Wright was saying before recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. Ha, this theory again! Your 4th person doesn't exist! Indeed, that's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we're in luck. A clue to the real criminal identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, but I had the impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear! Who is this 4th person? Why do I always get put on the spot like this? Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? It wasn't Olga. It wasn't Ouchie. I mean, Phoenix would know, but of course he would know, like, he was playing the game. He's the one who set up the game. Smith would know, but he's dead. Oh, shit. That leaves only you, Christoph. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin. You were the fourth person that night. But of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue. The ones on the floor of the table. But look! You can see the colors in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. Oh, shit! I did not pick up on that. Well, Kristoff? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter? No, nothing. Excuse me, it was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Kristoff. Oh, Kristoff? You know even I never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim? I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met. Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was saying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin, testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happen before that game of poker be related? It could be reason for a motive. I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly... Wait, did I read that all? I'm sorry. Might assume you speak... as I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly... Might to assume you speak for Mr. Justice on this. He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? Absolutely. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He's planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It too, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher. I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin, this isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well, the defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. And of course he will, but that won't be until next time on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of this video, and oh boy, what a twist we have. It looks like Mr. Gavin is the actual, might, but I mean, he's the only person left who could have done it, so, unless Phoenix is lying, which I don't really think he is. But yeah, I'm so enjoying this game so far. This is a really good first case. I'm enjoying this. I mean, despite some of the cringy, like, oh, the Irons of Steel, like, Apollo, he may grow on me a little bit. I may have let other people's views cloud my judgment of this experience, but in terms of this case and how it's going, I really enjoy it. But, thank you all for watching. Please give a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time, especially for more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Also, make sure to share this video far and wide. This is a brand new release. There's not many videos out there on this game, and I'd like to get it to you. So, I'll see you all next time for this final showdown it looks like it's going to be.